Situations made a man of me. That is expected, I'm exactly who I plan to be. I looked my mama in the eyes and told her we gon' make it. How could I go anyway but her? Now I'm sitting at your grave, reminiscing all the time that I wasted. I can't make it up.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the L.U.V podcast. You have your host here, L.U.V Jones.
And it's your boy Drake.
And today we got a very special guest. We got Pat Cole. How you doing, bro?
I'm good, man. How you guys?
Man, we doing great.
Doing amazing, man. It's a great Sunday today, I will say. Look good outside, it's sunny.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yes, sir. But for the viewers who may not know you at home, why don't you give an introduction to yourself?
I'm Patrick Cole. I was born and raised in Newark, New Jersey. I played ball at Central, North Carolina Central, 2015-17. Before then, I started my collegiate career at Coppin State in 2012. Then I transferred up to Siena College up in upstate New York, Albany, New York. And then, like I just said, I ended at Central 2015-17.
For sure. So like before we get into like your college career, was you getting like major recruitment out of high school?
No, I actually wasn't. I was actually one of the guys that were like, under recruited, but I was more like I played a lot with high major guys. Like I played on the same team with Kyrie Irving, with Eli Carter played at Florida. A bunch of Division I guys like Big Derek, he played at Richmond. Lucky Jones played up at Robert Morris. Quentin DeCozy played at Temple. So I played with a lot of high level guys coming out of high school, but I wasn't being recruited high major at all.
For sure.
Yeah.
And so what led you to end up going to Coppin State? Like, how was that process?
The crazy thing is that was the only school I had.
Word?
Yeah, so it wasn't like I had like options. Nah, like I mean, it was like you either go there or stay in Newark.
Right.
Yeah, see a lot. So coming out of high school, I had broke my foot playing over in New York in this league called IS8. Their famous slogan was like, "Bring your game, not your name." And it was a Nike league. Where and on that team, that's where I played with Ka. It was me, Ka, the other guys I just was talking about, and there was the other couple cats. But when I was going up for a layup, and when I came down, I had broke my fifth metatarsal in my foot. It had broke right in place. So when you're being recruited out of high school, once you get a serious injury like a bone break or something, like coaches back off you. You get called damaged goods. So I lost literally all my schools. They stopped calling, stopped recruiting. So I had to go to post-grad school. So after my senior year, we won the state championship. A local school called the Robinson School, which was a post-grad school for fifth-year seniors. I qualified SAT, ACT, GPA, like all that. I qualified to go to school. Just ain't had no schools to go to. So I went to post-grad school, and, it was coming down to the end of it. And the only school I had was Coppin. I went on a visit. They had me hoop with a couple of the guys. They loved me, and, they offered me a scholarship.
For sure. So what led you to I know you had a stop in Siena. But what led you to ultimately choosing Central?
It was a funny story, man. Like, I really wasn't even going to Central. The funny part about it is I was supposed to be going to Hampton.
For sure.
A lot of people don't know that. Leaving Siena, when I got my transcript, I was literally in the car driving down 95 to go enroll at Hampton. Because my cousin had graduated from there. He played ball, Jeff Granger. And he, was in close contact with Buck, the coach there at Hampton. And, they was recruiting me out of high school. So one game my freshman year at Coppin, I kind of remembered it because they chose another kid over me. So when I was at Coppin, we played them at their house. I had like 28 on them my freshman year. And when I talked to him, he remembered that and was like, "Nah, we're not gonna pass up on you this time. Like, you need to come down here, come to Hampton." So I was like, cool. Like, I was on my way down there, but once Vel found out that I was transferring from Siena, he kind of reached out and was like, he was on my back, man. Like, Vel was relentless with it, just telling me, you could come down here, learn from me, this, that, and the third, all the promises he kept, because he's like, by your senior year, you'll be player of the year, all this other stuff. So It kind of, man. And that was 2014, 15, he was telling me this. So, man, everything kind of played out literally the way he said it. So I was literally driving, and my mother was like, well, you got to make a decision, because, like, we getting close, what I mean, to North Carolina. I'm into Virginia and North Carolina. Yeah. So we literally in Virginia, and I just told my mother, like, just keep on driving. I'm going to just go to Central. And I called Moe back.
Wow.
Yeah, I swear, like, my mother could tell you, like, it wasn't like a just straight decision. Like, we would literally end the car, and I decided to go to Central.
Wow. Man, that's a crazy story, for real. Like, he was just like, nah, just keep going.
I swear. I just told her, keep driving.
Yeah.
Facts. But yeah, that story, I'll never forget that. It was crazy.
And I know that was probably like, to me, I know it was a great decision though. It was like, just knowing everything you did, like, it was.
Yeah.
That was
Vel amazing, man. Vel's an amazing dude, man. He kind of, like, on another note besides basketball, he kind of helped me with learning how to be accountable. Because as a kid, when you don't have a father figure, in your life, or, you don't have that male role model that's teaching you, how to be accountable and how to be a man. When you grow up, that part of you is missing. And it's tough for you to take accountability for your own, like, your actions. And what people don't realize is sometimes, like, you being accountable and shit ain't even really your fault. You know what I mean? So it's like, just understanding that, hey, my bad, man. Like, I'm gonna get better. I'm gonna do better. I think Lavelle was able to really, really teach me how to do that. And, again, I thank him to this day for that. Because it was rough at first, man. Like, me and him was bumping heads, and because I didn't have that accountability part. Like, he would tell me what I would be doing, and I always blame it on somebody else. You know what I mean? And he like, no, that's your fault. This, that, and the third, and making me become accountable for my mistakes. So, I mean, other than basketball, like, I think he was more helpful with life, like life lessons. You know what I mean? And just coming to Central and playing for him was way bigger than basketball, and I actually got more out of it than I thought I was.
Yeah. That's amazing though, because even though I didn't play, but I was the manager of the team, and just being around like, that atmosphere. I know, like, I done seen a lot of coaches, but I actually had a chance to be behind the scenes and see the practices.
Yeah.
So the way he pushed the players, like, it's more psychological, because I know. I know if I was playing, I would be mad too, because
you would.
I would be mad too, but I know he's trying to bring the best out of you, and he's tapping into something greater that's in you. So
how was the environment? How was the environment when you came into Central, like your first year?
Man, I think that was Jordan Park. Do you remember Jordan Park, KJ?
Yeah.
Like Nimrod, that like, it was Central was popping at that time. Like, Central was
a lot of hoopers.
Like, Central, the basketball team was rolling, the football team was rolling.
Yeah.
If you went to college, any college you go to, whatever, D1, D2, D3, don't matter. Like, if your sports teams are doing well, your campus is probably lit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And that's how ours was, because our football team was winning. You know what I mean? Like, we had Mike Jones, Ryan, and like, the football team was lit. So, and then Jordan and them was lit on the basketball. So the experience, man, was great. Like, I came into it like, oh yeah, I know I made a great decision.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Because I wasn't there, and it's crazy because my name Mike Jones too, so it's crazy.
Yeah, that was the cornerback, short, light-skinned guy.
Yeah,
he's tough.
when I first came there, they was like, "Oh, did you know about Mike Jones?" You talking, what you mean? Of course, I like the rapper, of course. But they was talking about the cornerback, and I was I seen him play. I had to remember. I'm like, of course, I know about the rapper. Like,
definitely.
So like, I know you going to your after your first year, you know, your stats was you was averaging 14 and a half, 4.5 rebounds, 3 assists. That's good. That's great numbers from Siena. Like getting better. So so what seemed to click at Central?
To be honest, it's funny, man. Like you look at those numbers and like you said, like to the people that's not like inside, like you would look like, man, you had a good year. Yeah. Like, nah, bro, my junior year was like awful. Like, what? My junior year, I was terrible, bro. Like, I told you, like coming into this situation, it was like I always looked like when I was going into programs, it would be like I'm looking for them to fit into what I do instead of me, you know, being able to fit into what they do. You know what I mean? And I think that's where I was getting a lot of, you know, my mistakes from early in my playing career and, you know, in college. And that's why I was bouncing around because it's like, oh, this don't fit me. This don't fit me. And it's like, nah, like you got to fit that program because when you leave, that program don't stop. Like there's gonna be kids coming in and like years and years and years of the program. So it's not so much of like that program changing for you. And I think my junior year, that's what it was, like going through that breaking period. At the end of my junior season, Vel brought me in the office and was like, man, you got to be the first guy that averaged, you know, 14, 3 and 5 or 5 and 3 and not make an all conference thing.
Wow.
Right. And he said it and I thought about it like, damn, he got to be right. Like that's a lot in college to be averaging and you don't make first, second, or third team. You know what I mean? And it was a bunch of things going on. Like my attitude was messed up, wasn't being accountable for my mistakes, wasn't my work ethic wasn't hitting on anything. You know what I mean? And when he brought me into my office and after we had that conversation, it was just like, nah, like I hit square one, hit the square one button. So that whole summer going into my senior year, and man, I was just grinding 5 a.m. to 5 p.m. Like just super grinding, making sure I was, you know, working hard, getting my body, eating right. You know what I mean? Like I wasn't playing around. And I mean, you know, senior year we just kind of took off.
Right. Yeah, and it did take off because like from not making what you said any conference team.
I didn't make no conference team.
To win the play of the year. In the play of the year, like
that's what it was, bro. It was the grind. Like I saw what being accountable does. You know what I mean? It really like leads you to success. Like it's tough, man. It's tough, but it
forces you to figure out like where you're going wrong, and then it also forces you to pinpoint like the best ways in order to like delete that so you can get over that.
Yes.
Sure.
That's
like,
facts.
Blaming other things, you don't really like try to work harder for it. But when you find out what it is, you're like, oh shit. Like,
let me fix this. That's facts. Exactly what you said is exactly right, bro. That's what it is. Like once you start understanding, like, nah, I messed that up. Like I gotta fix that. You know what I mean? It's like you start seeing success within that.
Yeah. I know like a lot of times, like I was the same way. Like you know, not being accountable in life, it's gonna hold you back because you always gonna seek out instead of like looking into yourself like, all right, I need to fix this. I need to fix something in my life. You always gonna blame that on something else. And you know, I also seen videos of like David Banner and be like, even if it's not your fault, it's your fault. You know. And once I started really paying attention to that, I was like, man, that's deep because it is like, you know what I'm saying? Especially you being the leader, you know what I'm saying, of the team, like, you know what I'm saying, you not going harder in practice leads to them probably not going hard.
Not going hard,
yeah. So, and even if your teammates going hard in practice, you not. You know what I'm saying? It's your fault. If you going hard and they not, it's your fault. You gotta figure out why they not going hard. So,
exactly.
Absolutely.
I definitely get what you're saying with accountability, and that's huge on your part for learning that. So.
Right.
Yeah.
You got a life skill out of that. Like you got a life skill out of that. It's going to be able to go with you forever.
And that's what I was talking about. Like with Vel, like it really is. It's basketball, but like he say, like basketball and life go hand to hand. That's what, you know, when I first met him, that's why he said he loved the sport so much, because it taught him so much about life and him navigating life, like being accountable. All of that stuff goes right into the work field. Like, you know, not being accountable could lead you to being fired. You know what I mean? And now if you, and he always talked about it, like all this attitude and stuff, like look at me as your boss. Like you talking back to me, not listening to me. Like, man, you go do that in the real world, bro, you're gonna be fired, jobless, homeless. Like you got a yes sir, no sir, your boss. You know what I mean? Like there's no talking back to your boss. He tell you to do something, you gotta go do it. You know what I mean? And he used to always hit us with little gems and life lessons that when we were in it, you think it's BS. You know what I mean? Like, man, I ain't trying to hear that. But once you get out into the real world, you like, hey, Vel, nah, you right. You was right. You was right. You was right. Like, and that's what I'm doing now, man. I just be telling him all the time. Like, I think he was telling us about, you know, that time when you swipe me your card and that cab going in, and you really got to search like where that next meal coming from. Like all that little stuff he used to be telling us, man, is real, super real. He that's why I call, you know, I just call him a GOAT, because he's able to connect both, and doing so, it allows you to be successful on the court, because you get those life lessons. You start changing things in your life, it just carries over into the court.
For sure. And shout out to Coach.
Yeah.
For that, for real. Like, and I feel like that separates the good coaches from the great coaches. You know what I'm saying?
There you go.
And even in life, you know what I'm saying, having that OG to like, all right, they go teach you the life lessons, whether you like it or not, but you go need it, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, so for sure. That's dope. So taking back to your senior year, just talk about how did it feel to become a champion?
That probably was one of a kind. Because just at that level, winning at that level, man, it was amazing. It felt surreal. It really did. Like it made me want to wish I had more years. You know what I mean? Like, because, you know, that was my senior year. Yeah. And it was just like, bro, I want to feel like this every year. Like,
right.
You know, this is an amazing ass feeling. Like, you know, that you on top of the, you know, the MEAC world. You know what I mean? Yeah. And listen, the senior year, we worked extremely hard to flip around the program from what it was our junior year. Right. So, you know, just, you know, when that clock hit 000, it was like, man, like all of that hard work, you know, all of that being accountable, all of those, you know, late nights, early mornings, like all of it paid off. Right. And that's what made me now, like, I always remember that feeling. So it's like, I know success comes from doing these things, you know what I mean? And life, waking up early, you know, staying up late, making sure things get done, making sure you're putting in the proper work, make sure you're grinding for whatever you're trying to get. It's always going to be success in that. Yeah, you might not see it at first, but you're going to eventually see it if you just, you know, stay with the grind.
Exactly. I'm glad, man, I'm glad you was able to be a part of something now that, because after that season, he won the next year. He won after that. Yeah. I think if they would have had the tournament when
they would have won
the COVID year, they would have won it that year. So that I was just like, that's crazy.
Man, he the king of the MEAC, I call him. Yeah, you know, he sits up there.
For real, because like that's something, like that's a dynasty now. Like you're part of a dynasty.
Yeah.
And your team was the team that sparked the change. So you was play the game. Like I want to just highlight. I just have to highlight your senior year because it was such a dramatic jump from your junior year because just what you're saying, you didn't make any conference team to now you play the game. You had the first triple double in
Division I history.
Yeah, for real. And now you was the MVP of the tournament. So like what? I guess you already talked about it with accountability, but like, what changed for you your senior year?
I think my mindset.
You're right.
I think my mindset changed because now there's nothing after this, right? Like it's senior year, you don't win this year, like it ain't no mulligans, like you ain't getting no do-overs. Like that's it. And Vel always, said my junior year, I hear him talk to the seniors is like, how do you want to be remembered? And I took that into my grind the entire season. Like when things started to get tough, because I mean, people don't remember, like, because you won it, they don't remember the little, bumps and bruises you went through. Like nobody talks about us losing to A&T that year. Like we were A&T's only win that year. They were 1-32. Like nobody talks about that because we won the championship. Like no, you know what I mean? Like nobody talks about us losing to Dell State the very first conference game at home by 2. Like nobody talks about that, but you know what I mean? Because we won the regular season. So it's like even through those little tough times, it was like, just remember why you doing this, right? And it's like through the tough times, you just got to always go back to square one, and that's your, that's your grind. So it ain't take a loss and just sitting thinking about it, and it's push through. Is wake up early, go hit the weight room, go get some extra shots up, right? You take a loss, the only way to get back on the winning side is to get up and try that shit again. You know what I mean? Right. So that's what we was at with it. And I think our senior year was beautiful because we went through so much struggle in our junior year. You know what I mean? We lost so much that we like, man, we not doing that this year. So I think mindset, I think that's where the start is. Like you have to change your mentality before anything else could change.
For sure. It definitely starts. It starts up here. It starts up anything else.
Yeah.
So talk about you winning the championship, talk about being a player of the game, talk about just the whole overall shift. So did you have any plans of playing pro?
I did. I played pro. Played pro for 2 years. So my professional career, I started off in Kosovo. It's like Eastern Europe, I want to say. I think it is. It's like Eastern Europe. It's the old Yugoslavia. They broke up. Yeah, like they started to get different little countries like Macedonia, Kosovo. They started to gain their independence. Like, I mean, I forgot what it was like it was recently, like 90 something. Or it was in early 2000s, something like that. So it's a small country right in Eastern Europe. I signed to their top team in their country. You know what I mean? I was playing Champions League, which we get to kind of travel whole Europe, which is really big. And that's why I signed actually to them. My agent was just telling me it would be good for me to play in Champions League for my rookie year, because not a lot of rookies get to play in Champions League. So, I was just like, cool, let's do it. But see, I mean, I think that's a whole nother podcast conversation, because what I'm gonna get into is like the professional career is not what people think it is. Like, I wasn't getting paid over there. So that's why I decided to come back home. And there's like no players union where, something happened, there's a lockout like in the NBA. Like if they ain't getting paid in the NBA, they ain't playing. It's gonna be a lockout until they get paid. You know what I mean? Like overseas, you don't have that. So them countries be like, hey, the sponsors ain't, they ain't cut their check this month. Well, you just don't get paid, bro. There's nothing you can do about that. So when you get the losing over there, they don't play no games. Nah, sponsor didn't get money this month. No money this month. Like it gets real over there. So I think I got hit with my bonus when I first got there, passed all the screening and everything. I got paid the first month. Second month when we took off the Champions League, we went to Russia, played a couple teams, lost both those games. I think we got eliminated from Champions League. We played our last one at home, got eliminated. In the next 2 months, they didn't pay me. So around like November of like 2018, I came home. I said, I told my agent, we need to void this contract. And the crazy thing is, when you sign a contract, obviously when you void it, you have to settle for because it's still money on the table that they owe me. You know what I mean? Right. So we settled for a number, still haven't seen it to this day. You know what I mean? Like it like I signed, they signed, and I still haven't seen the money. So it's like there's really nothing you could do about it because it's their country. Like, they don't have no rules over there that you can take them to court. Like there's no court system over there. So it's tough, bro. Like I commend my hoopers that be hooping overseas, like that do it for 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 years. Because bro, that joint is a grind for real. In my second year, I was in Bosnia, played in Bosnia. I was in Croatia, Bosnia, and I ended up in Hungary. I was in Miskolc, Hungary. So that's why I ended up at, and that was probably the best place I was at. Bosnia, same deal. It was doing the same thing country Kosovo was doing. But Hungary was good. Now Hungary was good. Yeah, Hungary was good. They paid their money on time. Sometimes you even got it early. It was very professional over there. You got in the gym whenever you wanted, weight room whenever you wanted, had your 2 meals a day. It was very professional. Hungary was probably the best spot I was at. But after that whole experience of just traveling and 15-hour flights there and back in the middle of the year.
That's crazy.
Bro, listen, it is a whole, like, bro, man.
That's
like that
crazy.
playing pro stuff is like, it's not what people think it is, bro. It's not what people think it is. It's like,
I'm glad you spoke. I'm glad you spoke on that, because that was going to be one of the questions I was going to ask you today is to like, because we got a lot of people, like, especially where we from, that like need other avenues other than thinking like, once I play in college, like I can't do nothing else. Like if I can't go pro, I can't do nothing else. Like, what's the real on that? Because nobody really like broke it down for nobody.
And I think the real is, I think it starts with the youth, and that's what I've been trying to do. Getting back into my coaching career now, like, so I ended up, with Rasheed Wallace over at Jordan in Durham. Charles E. Jordan High School, because I was in the G League draft. So when I left Hungary, I was like, man, I told my agent, I said, when I was younger, overseas isn't what I dreamed to do. Like, I wanted to play in the NBA. So I was like, I'm going to do whatever it takes to get there. And if I can't get there, then I'm not doing that no more, because that wasn't what I planned for my life. So I just, when I came back, I got the grind in, working on my vert, working on my body, getting even in better shape. Was working on my 3-point, NBA line, 3-point shot, working on I was just hitting the grind, bro. And then I got the Wizards to sign off on my G League draft. So I was in the draft, ended up not getting drafted. So after that, I was literally probably about to go back overseas. They was offering pennies at that time. So I wasn't about to go back overseas after making $5 a month my rookie year for like $900 to $1,000 just to say I play pro. I'm not into that business. You know what I mean? So I told my agent, like, if we can't get no better deals, then I'm gonna go ahead and try to get into something else. And it's crazy because I think it was God, because at that time, while I was literally going through that, Rasheed Wallace called. And when he called, he called and because I had a conversation with Coach Moten about getting into coaching, and she had called Coach, and Coach was like, "Oh, hit P. Cole, because he's looking to get into coaching, and I think it'd be great for him." And I've known she, because he used to be coming to the home games and sitting courtside and yelling and all. So I've met him and known him, and so it was like a no-brainer. Like when he called, like, Rasheed, wow, hell yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna come coach you too, man. That's a
not saying no to that.
Come on, bro.
Yeah,
like, for $900 or work with Rasheed Wallace.
Yeah,
I'll work with Rasheed Wallace.
Exactly.
So I was like,
yeah,
exactly. Like I know, and the other thing, to be honest, it was like I know the type of person he is because, you know, Moten used to have him around talking to us and everything. And like, I saw he wasn't a typical NBA dude. Like, nothing is Hollywood about him. He from Philly. He from the hood. He from the struggle. So like, he really sympathizes with people. He's a community man. So I really, 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 like, now he family. Like, that's big bro now. He family. But like, that's why I was like, man, I'm gonna just get into coaching. So that's how I started this whole coaching career.
But
that's like I told y'all, man, that we could jump on this, man, and talk about that pro stuff. Yeah, that stuff is different, bro. Like, it's really like a whole like side that I haven't even talked about because I know we don't have that much time, but it's stuff that people don't know. And I think it's like they need to know because when they see somebody stop playing, it's like, oh, why you don't hear about him no more? But like, you don't know why you don't hear about him no more. You know what I mean?
But I'd like to ask you a couple questions about the pros overseas, because like, from outside looking in, you feel me? Like, I've always heard overseas, you basically like they'll pay for your housing for you, and you getting a check. Just like you just basically they're paying for your housing. You basically just getting a check. Like, you feel me? Just playing.
Depends on where you at.
For sure.
It depends on where you at. And to be honest, like, a lot of the top leagues, that's what they do. But see, you got to think about it, right? Like, they get you because you still got to be like, you still got to eat, like, right? Like, they might pay for a meal, but they ain't paying for you to eat every single time you want to eat.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So like, if you making $900, let's be realistic, like, because there's people that play pro and make $900 a month. You know what I mean? And it's like, so you making $900. Let's just say you don't got to pay for you know, your housing, and they give you one meal, but you still got to eat 2 other meals. You talking about a week, and that's through 4 weeks every single day. Like, bro, you got to spend some kind of money. You know what I mean? And if you're only making $900, you really might be pocketing like $6 maybe a month. So you telling me, dude, because you only over there for 9-10 months, you do the math.
That's crazy. That's crazy, because I mean, of course, I know they got like different countries have different leagues, but like, you know, I heard about the Euro League and things like that, but that's probably the highest.
That is like the highest order of basketball over there.
And so it's like different tiers to that.
So what it really goes by is country. So what's respected over there. So let's just say, like, you know, you see people go to Mexico, right? Not really a big league. This is like, that's like borderline like rec league ball. You know what I mean? It's like, it's real low. So you might be over there it might be a get film. You might be over there to get some film, you know, saying, you know, film out there that you're playing pro, but it's not really respected over in Europe.
For sure.
Where you really want to inspire to get is to Europe, because that's the film that's respected. You know what I mean? Like, in France, playing in top league Hungary, playing top league France, playing top league Lithuania, you know, those countries, like that, the film there is way more respected than you playing ball in South America or playing in Mexico.
They already got ties to those places, and they're already looking at those places. It's already been built up foundation-wise.
Exactly. So like, if you just want to say, you know, if you want to just throw some flags on your Instagram bio, I mean, you could do it. But like, if you really trying to make a career out of it, like Europe is the only place that's really respected in the higher up basketball community.
For sure.
Yeah.
I just like, I'm glad you clarified that too, because now I know, like, it's levels to it, and everything ain't sweet, you know what I'm saying?
Everything. That is facts. That is facts.
So now transition you back to becoming a coach. Like, how was that transition? Was it hard to become a coach?
Man, it's still tough, man. I'm actually going to hoop later.
Word.
I still be hooping, man. I'm not gonna lie, you know, I'm only 28 years old, so I still get that itch. You know what I mean? Like, I still go by to check on the team at Central and try to get them some of them guys pointers. Like shout out to my boy Jay Wright.
Yeah, he
just went crazy. Oh man, he just went crazy last night. Yeah, he had 32 and 9, man. I told him, man, he probably gonna go down as probably the greatest Central player if he stays there. I definitely help him to make sure that comes true. Because I see it in him. He got it in him. But shout out to him. But I still go over there to talk to Vel and to get pointers and stuff like that, because I respect him. He's my mentor. So like the transition it's been okay, but it's been like you still get that kind of itch when you're young to like want to try to should I give it another shot? Just one more shot. You know what I mean? And it's kind of a pull, but I know I got a son now. He just turned 1 on Friday. Every time I think like really, really think about it, I want to stay coaching because I want to pour everything I got into him. And at these adolescent years, because me knowing what I know now, I know your childhood is the most important thing for you as a human being growing up in this world. So I want to make sure his childhood is A1.
For sure. Yeah. I want to just piggyback off of that. Like, your childhood is I think is the most important years, because like it shapes who you are your whole life. It just shapes who you are as a person. And some people are just like they just grown children. You know what I'm saying? Because they haven't.
There you go, man.
Yeah, they haven't healed from their childhood traumas, and and growing up and you being a father. You know what I'm saying? That's crucial, and I just want to commend you for that, and happy birthday.
Appreciate that, man.
Yes, salute to you being a great dad, and just keeping him in your thoughts. And now you coaching up the youth. I know that's gonna be a great transition to coaching up your son as he progresses through life.
Absolutely. Yeah, it definitely helps because like it allows you to see like what parents do with their child as you coach them and how they are. And it's like, if my child ever play for somebody else, like these are the things I won't do. These are the things I will do. You know what I mean? Because this is my first child. So I can't say what I will or what I won't, but what I can do is learn from other people. And that's what I try to do.
And so do you and Rashid, like you coach on Rashid's team now, or you just the head coach? You're the head coach? Yeah.
So she was going to be the head coach of the prep school that we had North Carolina Good, Better, Best Academy. But he actually accepted a job at Penny Called. He accepted a job to go to Memphis, so that's where he's at now.
For sure.
Obviously because of NCAA rules, our conversations have to be kind of straight to the point. And if it's anything about recruitment, it has to be about a kid or him coming out in the proper times to see the kids. Like we can't be on those sneak workouts and stuff like that because the NCAA is all over their back. They got Larry Brown over there, Penny, she. So everything right now, I mean, it's kind of been a step back, because he's been helping me as well through my coaching career. And me being so young and not really being able to talk to him as much because of the hours that like Memphis demands from him. It's just again been kind of tough on that relationship, but we still keep in touch.
For sure.
Definitely keep in touch, talk to him like almost every other day, ask about the kids, ask how the guys are doing, how I'm doing, and we talk about some other stuff. But I think that's what really helped out was she being there and me being able to learn from him. And I mean, he played in the NBA for 16 years. So every time he talked, I'm like,
definitely gonna listen.
I mean, you all eyes, all ears.
Shout out she for mentoring you through this process, and
definitely,
much success to your team. And and I want to get into our favorite part of the podcast. So it's called the Fast Five. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna ask you 5 rapid fire questions. You have 1 minute to answer all 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fast. Let me get the timer ready, put a 1 minute timer on.
Right, cool. So if you could hold on to one memory from your life forever, what would it be?
Being in the delivery room when my child was being born.
For sure. Who are your top 5 players all the time?
Magic Johnson,
Yeah.
Kevin Durant, Jordan, LeBron, and Kobe.
For sure. What are some ways you boost your self-love?
I guess self-affirmation. Just telling myself, you know, I'm handsome. You know what I mean? Telling myself I'm the greatest. I could do anything I put my mind to. Things like that.
For sure. And if you could go back in time and talk to your 18-year-old self, what would you say?
Shut up and listen.
Yeah, for sure. What is one question you wish me to ask you? Oh, dang. We're on the last one. You was close though. You almost beat it. Yeah. All right. What is one question you wish me to ask you, and how would you answer it? One question you wish me to ask you, and how would you answer it?
Y'all ask some good questions, bro. Probably my relationship with my parents. Like, you know what I mean? I think because that plays into, you know, me, how, you know, I got into basketball. You know what I mean? Like it got to start somewhere. And I think it started with, you know, my parents and them just pouring everything into me when I told them that basketball is what I wanted to do.
For sure. Shout out to your parents. For sure.
Appreciate that.
For sure.
Right. That's just as important as putting the picture that you drew up on the refrigerator. Like,
it's facts, bro. Like your parents, your first role models, man. You know what I mean? Like, first two people you look up to. So,
exactly.
You know.
And so, what's next for you? What do you have in store?
Some things I can't talk about, but you know, I do have my AAU program. Called Team Selfless. It was She Wallace Select last year.
For sure.
But due to him going to Memphis and NCAA violations, we had to change the name. And I believe, you know, Team Selfless was perfect because I preach, you know, everything, you know, you do everything bigger than yourself. Meaning, like, you know, again, if we walking into a place like a gym and there's bottles on the ground and everything, like, we not just walking away from it. You pick it up and throw it away, no matter if it's yours or not. You know, just selfless acts, because what we preach is the more giving you do, the more you get back. And I think, you know, within life and basketball, that's what we trying to teach our kids in our AAU program.
Shout out to you for that. Those are principles that we need for the rest of our lives. You know what I'm saying? And that can help. Just even that one act of kindness, they'll go out their way and start doing anything else. So shout out to you.
That's fact. There's enough hate in this world, man. We need more love.
Exactly. And it goes a long way. People will remember that more than they'll remember you being hated.
Facts. That is facts. That's facts.
And so where can the viewers find you at home?
I mean, as far as what you mean?
Like, I know as far as if people who want to follow your journey, where can they?
Oh yeah, I mean, you can follow me, you know, at Pat11 Cole. I keep it simple. That's my Instagram name and my Twitter handle. It's Pat11 Cole, and you can follow our team page. It's at Team Selfless, at Team Selfless RDU, on Instagram and Twitter. So, you know, people can follow the page as well. We post a lot of stuff we do with the kids, and we got a lot of big community stuff that I'm gonna talk to you about. I don't know if you want to be a part of, if you guys do anything outside of podcasts. But it'll be real big, man. Coming to North Carolina, I don't think nobody's ever touched this field that we about to get into. So it will be dope bringing some other people aboard that, you know, want to give back to the community.
For sure. Yeah, I'd love to be a part of it. We'd love to be a part of it. So
definitely.
Yes, sir.
For sure.
Question. Oh, what age ranges do you coach for your AAU team?
So right now, it's just 17U. But we tried to expand this year, but the way I do things is I don't have do things. So, you know, we wasn't able to get the full funding that we needed because of COVID and, you know, some funding cuts. So we had to scrap the team this year because I want to give the high level experience that I got playing AAU. Right. And if I can't give it to you, then I'm gonna just let you know and try to place you somewhere where you could get that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to just, you know, take your money and send you to, you know, down the street and just playing some rinky-dink tournaments. Like, nah, we're going to travel. We're going to play against the best competition. You know what I mean? Like, last year our team played against Bronny. Like, my kids been talking about that. Yeah, you could go on YouTube and just type in She Wallace Select versus Strive for Greatness. We played Bronny and them in Dallas. I know my kids they'll never forget that moment. Right. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, so it's just the experience and the memories that it create by traveling. Some of these places these kids will never go to again. Right. And it's just like being able to say, I did that with Team Selfless is like, you know, just that's what I dream. So I think that, you know what I mean? That's what it is.
Yeah. Everybody, please stay tuned for what he has in store with Team Selfless. That's like huge. That's beautiful for real. Cause like I know some kids have never had the opportunity of doing that, and you know,
for real,
if you all can definitely get your kid a part of Team Selfless. So
definitely. So we looking to expand, man. We're gonna be expanding the years to come. We're gonna get it right.
For sure. Yeah. If everybody at home, remember, it's all love, and we're